Connor Joe, I'm back. I grew my hair out. Pittsburgh Pirates suck. But the commissioner asked me to be on. With that said, I'll give you the power rankings and a couple of odds and ends, as well as if you're sensitive and you don't like me talking shit about your fantasy football team, then you probably shouldn't watch this. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I don't have time for any other nonsense. But with power rankings, number 14 will be our newest member, Romero. Brian's sitting at 1-6. He just had a really shitty year. Nick Chubb out early, Mike Williams shortly after that. Now he's got Justin Fields. His little finger hurts, so now he can't play football. Um, to top that off, I mean, Brian hasn't been making too many moves, but the one time he tried to make a move for Jordan Mason, put $50 in, got outbid by $1. It's kind of the year he's having. The wide receiving core is all right. Got Devontae Smith. Jacoby Myers is actually outperforming Devontae Adams. Chris Godwin's pretty cool. But outside of that, the team's pretty ass. Cam Akers, Antonio Gibson. Gabe Davis has been cool, but he has that one game like every 2 months, so that's nice. Yeah, that's about it. Sitting at 1-6. Hopefully he can kind of gather things together, but should probably trade some of the wide receiving core to kind of balance out the rest of the team. Number 13 is Hail Mary Jane, sitting at 1-6. Beat Ricky. Great job there. You did God's work there, so good job. His season was pretty much over with 5 minutes into the year when Aaron Rodgers went down. So that sucked. And we don't know who's running the team. Word on the streets is that Nez might be running his team. Got finessed by Frank. Traded Josh Jacobs for Daniel Jones, who hasn't even played yet. For Reyna, and then got Javonte Williams too. It's pretty ass. Um, I mean, you got AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Adam Thielen. Wide receiving core is like really nice, but outside of that, it's really bad. Javonte Williams, Najee Harris is the running back. Um, bench, um, bench is pretty ass. So sitting at 1-6, I don't think this one-time champ is going to win anything, do anything. Sorry, it is what it is. Number 12, Suck My Digs, Raquel, sitting at 1-6. Um, having a rough year, and in full desperation mode, spending tons of money on mediocre players. And Deshaun Watson's not doing Raquel any favors by forced to starting guard. She's forced to start garbage like Baker Mayfield or Mac Jones. So until Watson can get his shit together, it's gonna be pretty rough for Raquel. Got tons of talent on the team. The wide receiving core is nice with Diggs, with CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, Deontay Johnson just came back. A White from Tampa Bay has been pretty much of a letdown, but Brees Hall is also like killing it out there. The bench, unfortunately, is like more of a Make a Wish Foundation. You got Mac Jones, Darrell Henderson, Rondell Moore, Rashid Shaheed, Sky Moore, Keaton Mitchell. So season's still young. There's still time left. If we can strap on some wins and see if Raquel can get somewhere. But it's not looking pretty for this year. Number 11 is Firefly Funhouse Luke, sitting at 3-4. On paper, the team is shaping up much better than it was at the beginning of the year. Not wasn't a flashy team points wise. It's not necessarily a flashy team points wise. Lamar Jackson looks to be turning the corner, so that's very nice. Jordan Addison also might have made a statement for himself, having that big game with Justin Jefferson out against the Niners. But Addison's been pretty consistent all the way around for the most part as well. Like nothing super flashy, but it's a great start. Plug and play. Christian Watson is a great player, but Jordan Love is not. So unfortunately, Watson's been asked. Alvin Kamara is a shell of himself. It's bad when Taysom Hill has to take runs at the 1 yard line to get the end zone, to get the goal line carries. So that's not a good look. Austin Eckler's been spending more time on the sideline, but you do have Sam Laporta, who's like Travis Kelce 2.0. Spears could be the future for the Titans, and especially if they trade King Henry, that's going to be a great addition as for you as well. There's too many Titans receivers, and unfortunately, the Titans quarterback sucks. So it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback for that team. So we got Traylon Burks, we got Westbrook. That's not a good look. I don't know why you own Cordell Patterson. He hasn't been good for like the last 2 years. Darnell Mooney's never been relevant ever. Desmond Ritter's ass. Noah Fant like caught a touchdown last year, so that's like kind of cool. But the bench is pretty rough, but defense has definitely won you some games. And then you spent some money on Myles Garrett, who could be potentially the defensive player of the year. You're in the mix of things to sneak into the playoffs, and that may be a good look for you. Number 10 is Mr. Incognito, sitting at 2-5. The lineup on his team is definitely not doing him any favors. And it could be karma. You did trade for Josh Jacobs, and you literally gave nothing for it, and Reina hit accept. Or Adez, we don't know who hit accept. So you definitely fleeced Reina, and this could be the karma for it. Your team's not scoring points, but on paper it looks nice. Burrow, Calvin Ridley, Elijah Moore, Stevenson, Josh Jacobs, T.J. Hawkinson, Jamar Chase, Rashawn Johnson, not great, but with Herbert out, you would think. Tank Dell's like so up and down. McLaughlin had that 1 week and you spent like a whole bunch of money on him. Michael Wilson had that 1 week where he scored touchdowns. And then Jameson Williams. And you have Buffalo's defense. So like it's really just not working out right now. But there's still time left, and once they click, your team could be pretty deadly. Number 9, Arn Flanderson, one of our newest members as well. Ashley sitting at 3-4. Puts up points. Made a trade to acquire Ford from the Browns, which is great leverage to have with Kareem Hunt on your team. Herbert's not doing anything. Herbert is ass this year. Brandon Ayuk, 2 touchdowns for the season, and that was all week 1, and that's a week you won, and that's been it for Brandon. But you do have St. Brown, you do have Zay Flowers. Your running game's good with Hunt, Ford, and Pollard. Pitts looks like he may be turning form. Michael Thomas is ass. The bench is pretty solid. Jeff Wilson's coming back, and you have him sitting there. Jamal Williams, if he ever figures things out. The defense is really iffy with 3 defensive players. So if your team decides they want to play football, you may be in the mix of things. Sitting 9 in our power rankings and sitting, I believe, a game out of the playoffs at the moment. Not bad, not bad at all. We look at number 8, Nick Nack Patty Dak Ron, sitting at 3-4. The team, Ron's been pretty quiet this year, but he's just been sneaking in there, getting the wins, and sitting in the middle of the pack. The quarterback play, he has a hard on for Jared Goff, and it's obviously working. He had Jared Goff last year as well, and this year it's working, and that might be the guy you want to go to until Dak figures out if he can be a legit quarterback. Wide receiving core is a little bit iffy. Cooper, Pickens, Higgins. Mm, Running back game is iffy. James Cook has not proven himself, but ETN has definitely been the one that's holding it. It's ETN and Kelsey are the two that are just holding this team in the pack of things. But then when we're starting Hunter Henry, that's definitely going to be a problem. So the bench is definitely iffy. We have Slayton, Brandon Cooks, who was great like 8 years ago. Khalil Herbert, once he can get back healthy, that's going to be a big one for you. Mims has tons of potential. Jake Ferguson's not adding up to what we thought he would be. And then too many defensive backs on your bench. But again, ETN and Kelsey, that's enough to keep you going. So if we can figure if Deshaun Watson decides he wants to play football again, that'll be a great addition as well. And that's number 8.